Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into something most contractors never realize until it's too late, and that's the hidden costs of low quality leads. This isn't about getting more leads. It's about stopping the bleed that silently drains tens of thousands from your business every year. I'll show you exactly how cheap leads are costing you big and the system we use to fix it. Let's start with the hard truth. Most contractors are chasing cheap leads. You see the ads, 20 bucks a lead, 30 bucks a lead. Sounds like a deal, right? But here's the problem. Those deals can end up being the most expensive mistake in your business because it's never just about the cost of lead. The lead itself is just a number. The real cost is the wasted time, energy, and payroll that comes with it. Think about it. You buy 50 leads. You start calling. Out of those 50 leads, 20 don't answer. 15 say, "Oh, I was just curious." 10 tell you we're shopping for the cheapest price. And maybe 5 are actually worth talking to. Now you've just burned hours chasing people who were never going to hire you. That's time you could have spent on qualified homeowners, training your crew, or just being with your family. So cheap leads aren't cheap at all. They're actually silent killers of your margin, your energy, and your business momentum. Quick intro so you know who's talking to you. My name's Romario, and I'm the founder of Badass, a Google Ads agency that builds revenue-first paid ad systems for businesses that don't have time for the fluff. I've been running paid ads and building revenue-generating systems for over 10 years. In that time, I've personally managed over $50 million in ad spend, generated well over $300 million in revenue from paid ads for both global and local businesses. I've worked with remodelers and contractors like you, other home service pros, and even with billion-dollar B2B and B2C brands like Boeing, Fortinet, Quest Software, DataStax, and many more. What I learned managing paid ads for global giants, I now use to help local service companies like yours dominate their market without a corporate budget. So when I say I know how to make paid ads actually generate book jobs and revenue, I mean it. Because ads don't kill your growth. Broken systems do. And that's what we fix. Here's where it gets ugly. Nobody hands you an invoice that says cheap leads cost you $15,000 this quarter. But that's exactly what's happening. Here's what I mean. Wasted bids. Every time you spend hours putting together a proposal for someone who's never going to say yes, that's money burned. Not just your time, but sometimes the estimator, admin, even your crew helping prep. Crew downtime. When jobs don't close, your schedule has holes. Crews hate that. Good workers don't want to sit at home. And when they do, they quit. That's thousands more in hiring and retraining costs. Margins crushed. Competing against 8 to 12 other contractors on the same Angie lead, even if you win, you're forced to lower your price just to get in the door. You win the job, but you don't win profit. Cash flow gaps. Remodeling jobs aren't paid in full upfront. You're floating 25 to 30% of job value for 60 to 90 days. When your pipeline is filled with tire kickers, you're stressing payroll every week. And let's not forget the confidence drain. This is the hidden cost nobody talks about. When you spend week after week chasing dead-end leads, you start to doubt yourself. You lie awake at 3 a.m. wondering if you'll ever break out of this cycle. That mental weight is brutal. That's the bill nobody hands you, but you pay it every single month if your pipeline is filled with junk. Now, let's clear up the big myth. Most contractors think the answer is more leads. They say, if I just had more leads, I'd close more jobs. But here's the truth. More leads often just means more chaos. I've seen guys brag about having 100 leads a month. Sounds impressive, right? But when you dig into the numbers, it's ugly. Out of those 100 leads, they're maybe closing 5 or 6 jobs. That's a 5% close rate. So yeah, they're busy. Phones are ringing. They're running around town. Crews are stressed. But are they profitable? Not really, because the majority of that activity is wasted. So what happens next? They burn out. They think, I'm working harder than ever, but making the same money. That's why I say busy doesn't equal profitable. You don't need more noise. You need more quality. This is where the shift has to happen. If you're stuck in the feast or famine cycle, it's not because you don't have enough leads. It's because you don't have enough of the right leads. One high quality lead can be worth 20, 30, even 50 cheap ones. Why? Because a high quality lead has intent, has budget, and is ready to move. But most contractors never make this distinction. They just want the phone to ring. And that's exactly what lead brokers and cheap agencies sell you. Noise. Noise keep you busy, but it doesn't make you profitable. The real problem isn't lead, it's lead quality. Until you fix that, you'll always feel stuck. So how do you fix it? That's where the Badass quality filter comes in. This is the system we use to make sure only the right leads make it to your phone. It screens for 3 things. First, intent. Are they actually serious about starting the project? Or are they just curious? Second, budget. Do they have the financial ability to invest, or are they just shopping around for the cheapest guy? Third, fit. Are they the kind of homeowners you want to work with, or are they going to waste your time and haggle every detail? When you filter for those 3 things up front, the game changes. You stop spending hours chasing ghosts. You only talk to people who actually want to move forward. And here's the kicker. Your close rate skyrockets. Your margins climb and your crews stay booked without you running yourself into the ground. Let me show you what filtering does in practice. First, instead of working 50 junk leads, you're speaking to 20 to 35 exclusive high quality leads a month. These aren't shared leads, they're yours. Second, instead of a 15 to 25% close rate, you're closing at 40 to 60%. That means every 2 calls can turn into a project. And finally, instead of scrapping by at 4 to 5% net margin, you're running at 10 to 20%. That's 2 to 4x more profit on every job without more chaos. Think about that. Same marketing dollars, same effort, but now your time is going into people who actually want to buy. That's the power of the Badass quality filter. And no, this isn't just theory. Let me show you what happens when this is applied. In remodeling, construction cleaning, residential security, and even accounting, we've seen the same thing. Better quality leads, lower costs, and higher value customers closed. One client generated $1.42 million in qualified pipeline and over $507,000 in tracked revenue in just over a year, from spending $7,000 to $12,000 per quarter. Another client generated $5.7 million in pipeline and $3.1 million in revenue in a single quarter and $145,000 in ad spend. And another client spent $4.2 million in ad spend and saw a 720% increase in booked customers while cutting customer acquisition costs by 65%. This resulted in over $33 million in pipeline generated and $6 million in revenue generated from paid ads in 10 months. Based on historical data, we expect between 30 and 40% of the pipeline to close by the end of this year. These are the kind of results we deliver. Not random leads, not wasted ad spend, but steady, predictable revenue, even in industries where the competition is brutal. Because when you fix quality, results multiply. Now let me show you the backbone of how we actually fix this problem. It's called the Bad to Badass Growth System. It's a 4-step framework I've developed and battle tested across local service businesses like remodeling, construction cleaning, residential security, and even accounting. And even with billion-dollar B2B and B2C brands like Boeing, Fortinet, Quest Software, DataStax, and many more. And it works because we tie everything back to book jobs and real revenue, not vanity metrics like clicks and leads. Here's how it works. In stage 1, we expose the bullshit. First, we audit everything. We tear apart your marketing and sales to see where the leaks are. Most remodelers don't realize how much money is slipping away due to bad leads from brokers, missed calls, and ads targeting the wrong customers. We call out the BS, strip it to the studs, and show you where the cash is bleeding. This stage is about truth because you can't scale what's broken. In stage 2, we rebuild the machine. Once we know the gaps, we rebuild. Ads get engineered to attract buyers, not tire kickers. Tracking shows you exactly what's working and what's not, and automation makes sure no lead is lost. This is where your system starts to actually deliver, book jobs, and revenue. In stage 3, we align and accelerate. Next, we bring it all together. Ads feed your pipeline, your sales process closes the right jobs, and follow-up keeps the flow steady. This is when growth becomes predictable because you now know how many jobs are coming rather than just hoping. In stage 4, we dominate and expand. Finally, once the system is humming, we scale. You own your market, expand into bigger jobs or markets, and profitably scale your business with predictable revenue. So you stop chasing scraps and start controlling the flow of jobs. That's the bad to badass growth system. And here's the important part. This isn't theory. It's the system I've used to manage over $50 million in ad spend, generate well over $300 million in revenue from paid ads, and transform frustrated, struggling contractors into badass market dominators with predictable revenue, premium positioning, and sustainable growth systems. Now, here's how we bring this framework to life for our clients. It's called the Badass Domination Sprint. This is a 90-day growth program where we take the bad to badass growth system and install it directly into your business. Here's what happens inside the sprint. You get 20 to 35 exclusive high quality leads every single month, not shared junk, but real homeowners who are ready to move. Your close rate climbs to 40 to 60% because you're only talking to people who are serious. Your margin increased to 10 to 20% because you're no longer in a race to the bottom. You finally get predictable revenue and the confidence to plan without living in constant stress. Think about it. In just 90 days, you could go from chasing junk leads and losing sleep at 3 a.m. to running a steady, profitable, market dominating business. That's the transformation the Badass Domination Sprint delivers, and the results speak for themselves. So here's the next step, and it's simple. I'm not asking you to join the Badass Domination Sprint today. I don't even know if it's the right fit for you or your business yet. What I am asking you to do is book a free Badass Discovery call with me and my team. On this short call, we'll first diagnose what's really going on in your pipeline. Second, spot the leaks that are draining your time and money. And third, give you a clear picture of whether you're ready for the Badass Domination Sprint or if something else needs to happen first. And if it makes sense, we'll map out exactly how the Badass Domination Sprint can be installed into your business over the next 90 days. If not, you'll still leave with clarity on where the bottleneck is and what to do about it. So 2 ways to move forward. First, book a call with us today, or if you're watching live, just drop the word badass in the comments and we'll reach out. Either way, don't leave here guessing. Get the clarity you need. Remember, you don't need more leads. You need better ones. And that starts with a conversation and getting clarity on your system. So book your call today and let's make you the badass in your market. Listen, at the end of the day, there's no bullshit, no excuses, just profitable growth. That's all I care about. That's all my clients care about. So here's your shot. Book your Badass Discovery call today. Now there is a catch. Spots for the Badass Domination Sprint are limited to only 4 per month. And once 2 contractors in your metro area locks in with us, that's it. We shut the door, which means your competitors can't hire us. So the question is, are you going to claim your spot or are you going to let your competitor take it? Book your call right now and let's make you the badass in your market. Let's go.